Carol, what's in that coffee?
Yeah, she's piping, I think. A little.
She's right there. Oh, man.
She told me it's 5 o'clock. Yeah.
We good?
Take it away.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on, people, wake up. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So, excuse me. My name is Hiram Cologne. I've been in real estate for about 9 years. I started backwards. I started on the investing side back in 2009 and had some failures along the way, which made me very frustrated. Then I got into real estate part-time. I was still working a full-time job. As I started building my book of business, things got a little harder to do it part-time. So I had to make a decision, and the company that I was working for full-time made it very easy for me because they decided to sell the company and just open the door for me. And I went home, sat with my family. I said, I think this is my calling to do real estate full-time. And I fell in love with the business. I was hired by a brokerage that was heavier in the Western Mass area to be the regional success coach. And I've worked with the agents from Connecticut and Massachusetts for about 3 years there. And just put things into perspective. I did everything from working with the new agents. So after we leave this session today, our time here does not end. You guys will have my contact information where if you guys have questions, if you guys need help with anything, feel free to reach out. I will even shadow you on showings. I will shadow you on a buyer consult, a listing presentation, just to make sure that you're the better version of you that you want to be, right? Because the goal is to change your mindset so that your business can grow, right? That's the goal. And in real estate, we have to go out there and make a difference, right? There's a competitive market right now. Buyers are a little picky, right? So we got to make sure that we're doing the right things to get in front of those people. And listen, I know a lot of people are so firm on, oh, I want leads, I want this, listen, I all the business I've closed, I've done it without a lead source. I've done it just going out there and hitting the pavement, running, grinding, going to networking events, that exposure, the branding, putting on stuff. I typically wear clothing. I'm in a t-shirt that has some type of saying, whether it's I speak fluent real estate, ask me anything, right? And what I do is that's a conversation starter. Because people, anywhere I go, people will ask me, hey, how's the market? Hey, do you do transactions in Prospect or Waterbury? Absolutely. Oh, will you go out to Ashford? Absolutely. Millbury. I said I go to Connecticut. I go to Anyberry. So that's get it done, right? So, but it's important for you guys to understand that everything starts with you, right? Everything starts with you, and it's your why, right? Define your why. When I define a why, the why refers to the core reasons or motivation behind actions, decisions, or strategies. And I want you guys to answer these questions to yourself. Why real estate? It's important to answer that question because a lot of people join real estate. They have a different mindset of real estate. They say, guess what? I got my real estate license. I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to kill it. They don't realize the amount of work we have to put into it, right? And I always like people to work smarter, not harder. So today, we're going to put the adobo en los sofritos on the chicken so we can get started. Because everything that we do in real estate starts with you guys, right? And your results will be different. So how do you intend to align your goals with your why? And that's an important question you guys have to answer for yourselves. Where do you see yourselves 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, and even a year from now? And the reason why I do it backwards is because you got to have a vision of where you want to be in 10 years and then work backwards. What is it that I'm going to need to do to reach that goal in 10 years in my 5th year? What is it that I'm going to need to do in 3 years, a year from now, so that I can reach that goal in 10 years, right? A dream without a goal is just a wish. We got to have goals. My definition of success: start believing in yourself is the first S. Understand your purpose. Why real estate? Again, commit to your goals. Cut off distractions. I think that's a big one for all of us, even myself included. We still have things that get in the way that distract us from staying focused on what we need to do. Elevate your mindset. Stay consistent and shine through the struggles. No one said it was easy. We got to keep going. You got to get up. You got to get out there. You got to meet people. I always tell people, secret agents in real estate don't make money. If you think that sitting home behind your laptop in your pajamas and your bunny slippers is going to get you paid, you got another thing coming. You be out there. You have to network with people. You have to go out there and get that exposure and get in front of people. Right? Get in front of people and meet as many people as you can. Let's talk about some of the market updates that we're seeing in our market. And this is just based on Hartford County through July 31st of this year. So monthly number of sales in the entire county, 822. The median sale price, $396,000, up 3.9% from last year. The average sales price, $459,900, and that's up 5.3% from last year. Months of supply, look at that. Almost just one property per month in Hartford County. Now let's talk about yearly demand and inventory year to date. Number of sales year to date, 4,560. That's up 2.7%. The median is 365,000. That's up 5.8%. The average sale price is 423,647. That's up 6.3%. Over and under asking, 4.8%, and that's down almost 1% from last year. Average days on market, 10 days. And again, that depends on where you are, what market you're working in. You can have a property in Hartford that's move-in ready, turnkey, and it'll sit on the market a little longer than a property in Manchester or Wethersfield, right? Those will go off the market a little faster. So I want you guys to understand you got to know your market. Know your market. How many of you go out on showings with clients and provide them comps and data? I think it's so important. So important. And Smart MLS Stats does everything for you. Smart MLS Stats will break down the numbers for you, and it'll tell you based on the zip code of what the properties, what that neighborhood or that zip code, what it's selling over asking at on average. Our properties in Manchester are selling at an average of $10,000 to $14,000 above asking. Now, it also comes with pricing that property the right way. Pricing is so important. Let's talk about habits, right? Because the habits, what we do and the time that we put into our business impacts the amount of closings that we'll have, right? So a habit is a behavior or action that is repeated regularly and tend to occur subconsciously or automatically. often formed through repeated practice or reinforcement over time. So assessing your input. Now, what I want you guys to do, and you guys got to be honest with yourselves. Jot down the amount of time you spend per day, per week, per month, and we're going to tally it up per year on stuff like social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I know there's a lot of people tell you got to have a presence on social media, and that's 100% true, but there's a time for that. And how much time you're spending on that can have an impact on how you're producing, on your productivity. Binge watching TV shows on Netflix, right? Or, right? Listening to music or news or gossip in your car, turn on the radio, right? That's another distraction. Why not plug into something a little bit more positive, an audible book, right? Now, list 3 ways you will cut or significantly limit your input on the listed items. What are 3 ways that you're going to change your habits from having this stuff impact how you do business? Because I can tell you from the number of agents that I work with, most people are on their phone more than they are on their laptops because they're on social media, they're on Facebook. They want to see what's going on. They want double check. They want to see what's going on. What are the ways you will proactively feed your mind positive stuff and get out of the defeatist mindset mentality? A defeatist mindset mentality is you've already decided that you can't do this, even before trying, even before going through all the resources, right? A defeatist mentality is the worst thing that you can develop because it'll keep you from doing business. It'll keep you from getting out there and networking. It'll keep you from going out there and meeting with clients. It'll keep you from going out there and showing properties, right? You can't expect things to change if you're not willing to change your habits. And I think that's so important. And this is something that I had to adjust to. Because when I took on real estate full time, I was rocking and rolling. I would hit the pavement going, and I was coming home, and I was going in the house. Now, I get home, my wife opens the file cabinet. She said, drop your laptop, drop your iPad. You can keep your cell phone, but only if you're not going to work. This is my time now. This is my time, right? So that work balance life. You can't have $1 million dreams with minimum wage habits. And a lot of people, they dream big, but they don't want to get out of their own heads. They don't. And you just can't. You got to think big. You got to dream. So I did something this year that I've been procrastinating for so many years. I decided to do a vision board. And I put a vision board up January 1. New Year's Day, we got up. I was like, all right, we're doing a vision board. Put a vision board together. And the power of a vision board will amaze you. My car that's out there, and I'm not saying it to brag, but that was on my vision board. My Harley was on my vision board. Right? And so if you put things to a board and you look at it every single day, my screensaver on my laptop, it was my car. That's what I wanted. And there was nothing that was going to stop me from doing it. Right? I said, I know what I have to do. I know what I have to change. I know where I have to align my goals to be able to reach that point in my life. 5 things successful people do daily. Number 1, they pray, meditate, and keep a journal. Right? Think of it this way. When a thought comes to your mind, it's just a thought, right? The minute you put it on paper, it becomes a vision. So that's important. Very important. They read. So the acronym for key Just keep educating yourself. They read all the time. Listen to audibles every day. So most successful people, they turn their cars into classrooms. They don't listen to music. They plug and play. They listen to audible books. They listen to podcasts that are motivational. When I want to get fired up, I listen to Eric Thomas. That guy will fire you up and he'll have you running around the block 50 times. I mean, he's a phenomenal speaker. Take the time to write and review your dreams and goals on a regular basis. You need to revisit what your goals are, right? Where do I want to be? And you need to revisit those on a regular basis. Because all that's going to do is that's going to help you hit the reset button. If you take a step behind, right? I always tell people, stay 2 steps ahead of yourself, because if you fall 1 step behind, you're still a step ahead. So, very important. And the most successful people in the world, they exercise. They get up and do some type of, they walk, go around the. I have a 130-pound Rottweiler, so he keeps me pretty busy. I walk him every day in Goodwood Park or around Jordan Lane. Motivation is what gets you started, and the habit is what keeps you going. Success starts with your daily routine. Right? Change your routine, you'll change your life. And that's Terry Saville Foy. She's a phenomenal author. She writes some very good motivational books. Her voice is a little annoying on Audible books, but I think you could get past it. But she's a great author. My favorite thing in the world, time blocking. So for the old school agents, I have this agenda, and this is one that I just have around the house, but it's called the Organized Agent. This is, aside from my calendar and my phone and on paper, this is what I use to time block. Think about it. If you don't set your schedule every day or for the week, right? You're doing your clients a disservice, because now you're running around like a maniac, like I was when I first started. And this time blocking kind of changed my life in the sense that I was, like I said, I was running all over the state. I was running from, if somebody called me, they want to see something in Chicopee, I was running to Chicopee, Massachusetts to go show them a property, instead of just delegating it to an agent out there. And I was rocking and rolling, and one day I had to drive myself to the emergency room, and I was on the urge of having a stroke because I was running myself ragged. And I said, no mas. I said, I can't continue to do this. If not, I won't be alive to see my grandkids grow. So that to me was important. Why do you think time blocking is important? I covered some of them, right? But it maximizes productivity. To me, the most productive agent's time block. Enhances client services. You want to be that agent for that client and not have that client go anywhere else. They're going to stay with you for the long haul. Anyone that I've sold a property to 2017 up year to date, I've already resold their house, relisted their house, and got them to something else, or referred them to an agent in Florida or in South Carolina. But it's taking that care of your clients. Just remember, real estate, we don't sell anything. We help change people's lives, and we help rebuild communities, right? And that's how I vision real estate. It reduces distractions when you time block, because now you know I got to stay on the schedule. Improves time management, which is so important. Supports goal achievement. Provides, and you see I put the asterisks there, it provides work-life balance. That to me is one of the most important. That work-life balance. You can't be running around raggedy every single day doing the same old things and expect to go home and be like, I might have energy for your kids, have energy for your spouse, have, energy to go and cook dinner, right? So I did, so
For your hot water.
yeah, from my Rottweiler, right? So here's the top 3 reasons agents struggle to hit 24 deal a year mark consistently. The first one is, and it's the one that stands out to me the most, they don't time block each morning to prospect 5 days a week. Prospecting is one of the highest leverage activities we can do for both our current clients and create new business. By doing it consistently each day, you have the ability to find new listing opportunities for your buyers, and it allows you to generate competition on your active listings, and it creates a lifeline to your business of constant lead flow when done properly. The second one is they don't follow a schedule. You have to follow a schedule. And number 3 is they don't know how to properly list the property. There's listings are probably the bread of real estate. However, if you're brand new, you got to start somewhere. So you got to get with those buyers, right? Get those buyers. Those buyers will then turn to listings because you're going to get referrals. You take care of your clients, and they will always come back to you. They will always come back to you. For me, it only had to happen one time. I stopped following up with people, and when I opened up my Facebook page and I saw a good friend of mine closed on a house with someone else, I was like, oh, wait a minute. And he called me. And I said, hey, congratulations. He said, oh, Hiram, I forgot you're in real estate. I said, no, that's on me. Because I failed to stay top of mind. I failed to stay in contact with you. I said, congratulations, good luck. But you have to stay top of mind to these clients. Even if you've already closed. I mean, think about their house anniversary, when they hit their 1 year mark. That's an important time to stay top of mind to those clients. I program it in my phone and my calendar. I got a reminder of all my clients, and I send them, even if it's a text message, hey, happy house anniversary. I said, man, I can't believe it's been 4 years. Oh man, I'm glad you reached out. I'm ready to list. We're moving. Okay. You have to stay top of mind to those people. Overall, time blocking is a strategic tool that helps real estate professionals stay organized, productive, and client focused in a competitive industry, because we are in a very competitive industry. How many of you work with buyers and buyers are becoming so picky? They are. They're becoming so picky. They want $1 million house for $5.55. Right? So we got to change that. Before I go into the tools and resources, I'll just kind of go into some of the time blocking and how I've structured it, right? So this is a smart week, right? This is a smart week, and I color code it. And the way you work this smart week is you list the top 5 most important things that you got to get done today on that day. So whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. What are the top 5 things that I have to accomplish today? Whether it's a contingency date, an inspection, whatever it is. It could be personal. It could be, listen, you know what? On this date, one of the important things is I got to go out to dinner with my wife, or I got to go out to dinner with my husband. I'm going out with my kids, right? Now, the color coding is everything in green. It's a income revenue generating activity. You're showing properties, you're hosting open houses, whatever it is, you would color code it in green. Your yellow are trainings, office meetings, right? Pinks are personal. And the goal is not to make the green supersede everything else. The goal is to have a work-life balance. But if you start seeing more pinks and yellows than green, then there's something that you have to do to adjust to what you're doing on a daily routine. Time blocking is so important. And this organized agent book does it all for you. This thing has your goals. It has goals. It has quarterly goals, right? It has, important dates. It has a motivational quote. It gives you a calendar. Today is whatever it is, home maintenance, winter tips for whatever in January, right? And then you got your schedule. These are weekly goals, and then you have in my prospecting, how many people did I reach out to in my sphere of influence? How many people did I talk to networking? On average, you should be having, at minimum, 20 conversations per day. And I'm talking about two-way conversations. The difference between a conversation and a two-way conversation is that a conversation, you can have a conversation with somebody, but if you don't get a response back, then guess what? It's not a productive conversation. So you should set a goal, have at least 20 conversations per day, and track it. Track it. Everybody needs to know that you are in the real estate business. Everybody. So when it comes to, I can honestly tell you that I've never, in any brokers that I've been with, never relied on a lead source that they provided. Never. Because I knew that by me taking on this business full time, I had to provide for a family. They needed to eat. They needed a roof over their head. So my purpose was like, listen, I got to get out there and hustle until I can't hustle no more. And I got to set myself up so that my family is taken care of. So I never, listen, great lead platforms out there. Zillow's great, realtor.com, homes.com. There's so many of them. The nurse next door, teacher next door, police officer next door. Great programs. That one is probably the one that I use the most, only because the referral fee is low. And a percentage of when you close that transaction, so the next door program, they charge 25% referral fee. 20% of that referral fee goes to the buyer towards closing costs. So it's a great way to build your book of business. I trained agents that were on the Zillow Flex platform, and those are the people that left their brokerages because they weren't making money. Zillow charges 40% referral fee. Then you have to split the rest between the broker and the agent. So you did all the work. You went out there, you hit the pavement, right? And you started showing properties, putting wear and tear in your vehicle to make $800, $1,000. That's why it didn't pique my interest. I said, I'm gonna figure this thing out where I'm gonna go out there and generate my own business. And I did. I started getting creative. I started thinking outside the box. My buddies own a cigar lounge in Weathersfield down the street. I said, can I borrow the lounge so I can do a first-time home buyer workshop? And they said, sure. I said, so I put a flyer together. I said, we're going to have a first-time home buyer seminar. It's called Bourbon and Buyers. Guess what? I went to the local liquor stores. I asked them, they donate a bottle of bourbon. I went to the cigar lounge where my buddies own, and I said, hey, can you guys donate cigars? Absolutely. Got a food truck. Had a room with like 38 people. I was blown away. So I was like, man, this is working. And I went into real estate not knowing anything about it. I did the investing side. I tried to flip properties. I partnered up with the wrong team. I lost so much money that I got frustrated and walked away from it. So then a couple years later, I said, you know what? Let me go get my license. But then I knew that I was going to have to do something different to build my book of business. The book of business is important. So I went to the brokerage that I was at that time. I went to the top producing agent. And I said, how you doing? My name is Hiram Cologne. I'm brand new to real estate. How many open houses do you need me to host? This is why I have 12 listings that you can choose from. And that's where I started growing my book of business. I started meeting people there that a lot of people get that, they develop that mindset that they're going to help their friends and family. I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of your business is going to come from a complete stranger that you've never met before. And that's a reality. Why? Because friends and family, they want things for free, right? And the other thing that I will tell you, when I started in real estate, the failure rate of realtors was 97% of realtors failed in their first year. Now it's at about 85%. That's still a high number. But in my opinion, it's not the real estate agent failing. It's the lack of training and support. People need to feel supported. And I was that frustrated agent. People need to feel supported. People need to know what to do from A to Z. They need to know. So I was like, you know what? I want to create something that's going to help change people's lives. I want to help them change their work habits. I want to help them grow their business. Whether it's offer writing, whether it's going on a field day as a group showing properties the proper way, right? Always putting your safety first. I would tell agents, even if it was in Massachusetts, in Boston, or down by the Cape, schedule a showing. I'm your buyer. I'm going to observe how you show me the property, and then I'm going to give you feedback at the end. And that's what I did. So this young lady, she was new to real estate. I got here before her. And I said, listen, try to be here before your clients get here, when the time allows. But if you're time blocking, the time will allow, right? Try to be there before your client gets there so that you can walk into the property, turn on the lights, and you can also take notes on what are some of the features that your clients are looking for. So let's start checking the boxes, right? Let's see what the client is going to like about this property. So now you're going to highlight those features. Then you're going to go in places that you're not comfortable going into when your clients are present. Like the basement. Go down into the basement. Take notes, right? When your clients get there, always let the client come in first. Let them come in first. Once they come into the property, and they take a tour of the property. Once it comes time to go to the basement, say, listen, I've already been down in the basement. I want you to go down, take a look. I took some notes. When you guys finish, we'll huddle back up here in the kitchen and we'll discuss what my findings were. And now you're always putting your safety number one. So I gave the young lady feedback, and she was just starting to show more and more properties. It was holding her back because she was afraid. I gotta go into these houses by myself, meeting people I don't know. Everybody in here has the Forewarn app. It's not always accurate, but it gives you enough information. If I'm meeting somebody that I don't know and I can't find them in Forewarn, I'll call that person back up. I'll say, hey, listen, I'm going to be down at the Starbucks on the side of Steen in the next 20 minutes. I said, do me a favor, just text me a picture of your license, just so that I know who I'm looking for. That way, we're not playing the guessing game of who's who. You have my business card, right? And, yeah, okay, if not, I'll send you a picture of it. Now it's safety reasons. And that guy that I ended up doing that for was a police officer. And he was just like, wow. He said, I'm glad you did that. He said, not a lot of people do that. I said, well, safety's first. I come from a safety and compliance background, so that to me was very, very important. You always got to put your safety first. So we're talking about tools and resources. Smart MLS Stats is a powerful tool that is underutilized. And Smart MLS Stats will allow you to, like I said, it'll break down what the market trends are, what properties are selling per zip code in that area. What's the it'll give you a breakdown of, listen, this property went under contract on this day and it sold 15,000 above. This one sold at list price. This one sold below list price. So it's a conversation that you can have with your clients. And it takes the guesswork when you're working with buyers. How many times have you met with a buyer and they're like, oh, they don't want to listen? Oh, my brother told me I should go like 15,000 below or 50,000 below. But what? when you have the comps and you have that data behind it, it takes away all the guesswork. Now they're going to say, you know what? I trust you. I trust you. Because now you're showing them the proof. Listen, if you want to be in this market, Riser, listen, I understand you want to go, 20,000 below, but if you want to purchase in this market, these are what the properties are selling for. And to be competitive, you're going to have to compete with that. If that 20,000 if that's holding you back because it's 20,000 above, because you're afraid of your what the monthly payment is going to be, let's get on the phone with your LO and let's find out. And you're going to be pleasantly surprised that at that price point, your monthly payment is not going to increase that much. For every 1,000, it's like $5 or $6 a month. Now let's see if those numbers work for you. Let's call the LO, right? But those are the conversations that we have to have when we're working with the buyers. The other one is, how many of you have Palm Agent One? Have you heard of Palm Agent One?
No.
Palm Agent One is such a powerful tool, especially for listing appointments. It's an app. I believe it's a Tom Ferry app, and this is what it looks like. It's Palm Agent One. It's in the store. It's like $10 a year to have this app. The beautiful thing about this app is that you can create marketing for your listings. You can create branding for yourself. You can also, it has all the calculators in there that you'll need to know when you meet with a seller. You can plug it in and share it with them, or you can print it out. I always print everything out so that I can show them. I never leave a client anything in hand in person, because if they're interviewing somebody else, now they're going to show your information. They're going to share your information, and now that puts you in that position to lose that listing, right? Yeah. So this app will break down when you're having a listing appointment. What's the goal that you want to net? What's your net goal, right? What's your timeline? Okay, so let's talk about it. And this will break down. It'll give you a breakdown of what the average attorney fees are, title fees. It'll break it down, and you can even adjust the compensation. You can put your commission, and you can put the buyer's commission in there, and now you can show the seller, your client, this is how much you're going to net, and that includes all the fees, minus some adjustments that have to be made by the attorneys and the LO at closing. Is this something that works for you, right? And then they're like, oh my God, I'm going to net that much? Yes. Palm Agent One is a phenomenal tool. It has all the calculators there. It'll break down the difference between the buy down programs with mortgage companies, right? It'll give you, it's phenomenal. So here, this is like, you could put the type of financing, like if you're going to work with a seller, it'll even give them a breakdown of what their projected mortgage balance is based on it. And sometimes they're spot on. I've had agents who I'll ask them, I say, hey, I'm going to give you some homework. What's the balance on your current mortgage? What's the payoff amount? And they'll give it to you, and it's only like off by like $1,000. But they're giving them a higher number, and even with that, they're making more. They're going to net more because they owe less on the property. So it's a phenomenal tool for $10 a year. I use this app avidly. I don't go on a listing appointment unless I plug the numbers in here and I have something to show the seller. Because all it's going to do is it's going to confirm what you're telling them about price. Right? Listen, you don't need to sell that high. You don't need to sell, 30,000 above this price. You're still going to walk away with what you wanted to net on this deal. Does that make sense for you, right? And then you go through it that way. Homes.com. I'm a subscribed member of Homes.com. I love Homes.com. Homes.com is one of the tools that I like. It's a paid membership. You pay it monthly. They have different tiers. The nice thing about it is that if they do retargeting ads for you, so the retargeting ads go out and they send it. It'll show up on ESPN's page. It'll show up on. I mean, they send it everywhere. The exposure, and then they send you analytics. So if you have a listing and you want to be able to show, listen, this property's been on the market for 26 days. You haven't had any bites on it. However, Homes.com is showing me that it's had 26,000 views. 2 people favored it, and there's no offers. Now we need to have a conversation about maybe a price reduction. Right? So Homes.com is good. You can do a presentation. There's CMAs on there for you. And the market analysis that it does is phenomenal. It's clean, straight to the point. Plus, with Homes.com, you don't have to stop using whoever's doing your photos for your property, but they will go out and send one of their photographers to do the Matterport, the 3D Matterport, and they do your floor plans. So they list it on the site, and it'll tell you how many people have viewed the listing, how many agent profiles you've got, how many people viewed your profile. And it's a phenomenal tool. I out of all those platforms that are out there, I like Homes.com. And I'll always test the waters, because I feel that as agents, we have to invest in ourselves. I'll always try something for a year. If I don't see a return on my investment in that year, then I'm going to something else. Of course, evaluating if there's something that I could have done differently to get different results. CRM, what do you guys use for CRM? You guys use a CRM? Market Leader.
I used to use Follow Up Boss.
I use Follow Up Boss. I use Lofty right now. Lofty's pretty good. Either way, regardless of what you're using, your CRM, that's where you're gonna manage your clients. That's your bread and butter right there. So if you don't have one, get one. If not, find a way to track your clients by having an organized agent. RPR. How many people use RPR? RPR is another great tool. It's given a different look at what home values are. And what I look at in RPR, when I'm looking at home values, I'm looking at the range. Because even with Zillow's estimates and Realtor.com, the estimates they give, you got to keep in mind, they're only giving you the estimate based on what they know. Whatever's on public record. They don't know if the homeowner has made improvements to the inside. They don't know if the homeowner has spent, $100,000 on improvements. They don't know that. That's why we need to be able to get in there, and I show them the range. I said, listen, based on what I see, and then I'm looking at the comps, of course, what's sold. This is what we need to look at. And now it's becoming even more challenging when you're working with buyers and you're closing properties, because now they're saying that as soon as you have a home inspection, they need to start shopping for homeowners insurance, because the insurance companies are starting to crack down on roofs, ages of roofs and stuff. They're going out and they're sending your adjusters out there. I had a client in Norwich, and they closed on the house. It was a FHA loan. The appraiser came out. They said, yep, there's 2 years of life on the roof or more, right? Boom, they put it out there. They close on the house. They move in. They're painting. They get a knock on the door. It was the insurance adjuster from their insurance company. You don't repair your roof, we're dropping your coverage. And we're going to add a coverage that's going to be a lot more expensive. So one of the homeowners, the parent was an attorney, reached out to the title company, and the title company ended up covering the roof. So now is the time, like when you're working with buyers, as soon as that inspection is done, have them start shopping for homeowners insurance, because you want to make sure that they're not going to have any hiccups when you guys get to that closing, and then they tell them that they can't insure them. Reminder media. This is more of a marketing and branding tool. If you want to have a presence on social media and you want them to do it for you, it's $80 a month, and they put out, you can post on your social media pages up to 3 times a day. They also do a magazine, which I experimented with. I got a lot of positive feedback, but I wasn't seeing the return on investment. There's a nice branded magazine that you can bring to open houses. That's what I used to use it for. Yeah, you can have them mailed out to clients, but think about it. Most people get a magazine in the mail, they look at it, they're like, all right, basura, right? And that's it. So, but they do have some pretty good branding and marketing materials that you can work with. They do mailers for you as well. For when you're, how many people door knock before they do an open house? Start doing it. Just be careful. We had an agent out in Prospect. He was hosting an open house. And he was door knocking, and he knocked on the wrong door. And he just told the lady, he wasn't saying anything different than what he would do with the other houses. He was like, hey, listen, I just wanted to give you a heads up. In the event that you are concerned with the flow of traffic, I am hosting an open house. I listed your neighbor's property. If you know of anybody that's interested in this neighborhood, have them stop in. If you're curious of what your neighbor's house looks like, feel free to stop in as well. She called the cops on him. She said he was soliciting. So the police officer shows up, and he explained to the police officer exactly what he was doing. And the police officer said, well, technically you're soliciting. He said, I could arrest you. And he was like, no. He said, what do you mean? He said, I'm doing my job. So just be careful where you do it, but I highly encourage it. I've gotten listings from a lot of nosy neighbors. They come in. I had one in East Hartford on Fowler Lane, and he from across the street came over. He said, as soon as you close up this open house, come across the street and check mine out. I have the better looking house across the street. I was like, okay, I'll do that. So,
You mean like knocking on those people's house around when you have an open house?
when you have an open house. Yeah. This is
Well, unless, you know, like, I get it.
but I think it depends on how you do it, right? If you knock on someone's door and you're standing right there in front of them, that's a different approach. People take that as soliciting. But if you knock on the door and you take a step back and let them come to you and say, hey, good morning, how are you? Hey, listen, I'm the listing agent next door. I just wanted to give you a heads up. In the event you have a concern for traffic flow here, I said, I'm hosting an open house from this time to this time, today and tomorrow. If you know of anyone that's interested in this neighborhood, have them stop by. If not, if you're curious of what your neighbor's property looks like, feel free to come over, have a bottle of water or seltzer or whatever it is.
And I also give them my card and say,
Yeah.
if there's any parking issues, just feel free to contact me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I send them what the property sold for
Yep.
after the fact.
Absolutely. That's so important.
By the way,
Yeah. So important. How many of you have a memory jogger? You know what a memory jogger is? So when we're talking about lead generation, right? A memory jogger is everyone that you know, whether they're in your sphere or not. Whose business do you support? Is it a hairdresser, local liquor store, whatever, dry cleaning place? Listen, go to them, ask them, have a conversation with them, let them know what you're doing, right? And then have them go in there and say, hey, do you mind if I leave some flyers? Or do you mind if I leave some business cards here? They're not going to tell you no, because you're supporting your business. I go around in Weathersfield, I'll go to like the donut station, I'll go to certain businesses, and I'll highlight them. I'll go in there with listen, if you're shy to be on video or camera, be unshy. Because this is the direction we're going, right? So anybody that comes to an open house that I host, when I follow up with an open house, I follow up with a video text. Because I want you to think this way. When buyers are out at open houses, they're going to several open houses, right? So they're not going to remember every agent that they've encountered. However, if you were resourceful and you answered their questions and you interacted with them and you throw a video text up there just thanking them for stopping by the open house. Hey, listen, if this property doesn't check all the bells and whistles that you're looking for, I can help you find something that is a better match. Feel free to contact me. This is my name, my contact information. Thank you. Have a great day. Boom. Even if they're working with an agent, I send it to the agent, and the agents love it. They're like, "Oh my God, you did a video text?" I said, "Absolutely." It's something different. You got to think outside the box. You got to do what other people are afraid to do. Role playing. That's so important to build your skills with having conversations with people. So I picked up these cards, right? These cards are cash cards, flashcards for closers. Easy. And all it is it provides you with objections. It provides you with objections, like not sure if I can afford a new home. And then on the back of it, it gives you what the objection there is, right? And of course, you always want to, you don't ever want to learn something verbatim. You want to customize it to who you are, right? And then it has a pro tip on the bottom. So this just helps you get a little bit more confident with objections and going out there and having conversations and not being afraid to get in front of somebody because they're gonna be like, well, no, I'm not ready to buy right now, or my brother's an agent, I think I'm gonna use him, or whatever it is. But they have them all in here, from the interest rate to everything. So these cards are pretty powerful. I use them all the time. Yeah. You can pass those around if you guys want to look at them. Again, we spoke about open houses. It's a great resource. And one of my favorites, ChatGPT. ChatGPT, me little piggy the English, I need you to create something for me, right? And listen, that's one of my favorite resources. And if you guys wanted to spice it up, I don't know if you guys in the back heard, you can download the Suno AI app, and you can create music for your open houses and customize it to you. So I'll give you a little sneak peek of what I do. Let's see. You pick a good one. Let's see. In this place, no music in the open house. People love it, right? Like a 2 to 3 minute song, right? Wow.
Come on now, take a step. Hiram's got the keys to breath. In the game, we never sleep. Up the ladder, it's a steep.
So, it's fun. It's different. It's fun. It's thinking outside the box. And all you do is plug in keywords. If you like bachata, if you like merengue, if you want reggaeton, they do it all. Country music, you just plug in the keywords and it'll create the song for you. It creates 2 different versions. And then if you have it on your laptop, you can copy and clip, and you can create it and customize it and make it fancy. And I use it all the time. People love it. They go out there and we just have fun. My open houses are fun. You guys know the difference between an open house and a mega open house? A mega open house is an open house on steroids. That's where that property's out there, you're promoting it. You got balloons, you got everything, you got music playing, you got snacks and drinks, and you just like, yeah, not the pig roast, but I've had an ice cream truck, right? Had an ice cream truck come out, or I've done like when the football season starts, I say, hey, this is NFL Sunday. This is the kickoff to the NFL season. The first 50 people that come in, I'm gonna be raffling $200 gift cards for the NFL shop. Come in, those who sign in, boom, 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 boom. I've done them with hot dogs. Just think outside the box, be creative. It's an investment, but guess what? Your house goes under contract. you get a couple leads from that deal, it's well worth it. It's a return on your investment. So it's, again, we have to be different. We have to think outside the box. And again, keep educating yourselves. That's important. How many people do buyer consultations? So important. So important. Common mistakes with buyer consultations, right? I'll go over the common lack of preparation. Always show up prepared for those consultations. Always, like I said, have your data ready. Do your comps. What the properties are selling for in those areas. I mean, if you get this done ahead of time, you're saving yourself so much time. Because it's what we call separating the lookers from the buyers. And we don't want to be working with lookers. We want to work with buyers. Poor listening skills. You got to listen to what the buyers are telling you, that client is telling you. You got to listen, because if you don't listen, they're going to be like, you know what? This person is sending us these properties that don't even make sense for us. We're going to go with somebody else. Skipping that pre-approval mortgage discussion, that's so important. Why am I going to go out there and show you a property if you're not ready, willing, and able to submit an offer on a property just because you said, no, my banker told me I'm all set? No, that doesn't work that way. So important. Ignoring the emotional aspect. Buying a home is often an emotional decision. Failure to acknowledge that can make you appear disconnected or insincere. And we're in a people's business, right? We always want to do business with people and get positive feedback from them, because we're in a referral-based business. One negative review, you could be done. So we got to take care of our people and treat them like gold. Rushing the process, pressuring them to make quick decisions can scare them away. I've met with tons of clients. How much time do we have before we make a decision on the house? Well, it all depends on what your needs are, what your wants are, how soon you have to move, and where you want to be. We have some markets that are more aggressive than others. Some markets, the average day on market is less than these other markets, right? So you got to be able to give them that time, educate them through the process while you're there, saying, but listen, if you want to be in this market, you may have to make a decision sooner than later, because properties are selling by the minute. So with that being said, regardless of what the market is, I want you guys to think about something. Regardless of the market conditions and inventory, closings are still happening every single day. Where do you want to put yourself in the position to be a part of those closings, right? What do you need to do differently to be a part of that? Know your market. That's so important. Know it. I'm on Smart MLS every single day, sometimes for hours, just making sure. If I have nothing to do, I'm looking at, all right, I'm going to go and try to gauge some listings in this area. I'm going to look at how much inventory is in that area. What's the average days on market? What's the average sales price? What is it selling over or under at? How much? What's the difference in square footage, bedrooms? Why buyer consultations are important. It allows for the following: discuss buyer's needs, preference, and budget. Makes no sense to start sending someone listings if they don't even have a pre-approval. You don't even know what they can afford, right? So, and I see that done so often, just because, oh my God, I gotta call, I gotta go out, I gotta show them the property tonight. Are they pre-approved? Oh no, they said they're gonna meet with the loan officer afterwards. No. Explain the home buying process from A to Z, including that pre-approval. You want, during your buyer consult, you want to explain everything that is clear as day. So that way you tell them, listen, we're meeting here I'm going to walk you through the home buying process. Right now, it doesn't matter what Brother Bob and Uncle Bill have to say. You chose to trust me. It's hard enough for me to get my license, and I take pride in doing what I do. So I need you to trust me through this process. If you can't trust me through this process, then I may not be the right person for you. Again, we got to pick who we're going to work with. We're not going to be able to help everybody. Set up home search and discuss how showings will work and take place. That's so important. When you set up a home search, I think it's so important to also stress the importance of them showing up on time for those appointments. And just let them know, listen, I work with several other clients. The time that I block off for you is for you. So it's so important that you show up to these appointments on time, because if you're late for one appointment, it's going to throw our whole schedule off, and we may not be able to get into one property because there's other showings going on, and we got to be mindful of and be respectful to the seller. They want to come back home, especially if they're still occupying the property, if they have animals that they got to get out of the house. So I need you to be on time. If you can commit to being on time, we're good. I said, now, if I know things happen, well, call me, because then I got to call every single agent and let them know that we're running behind. And again, it doesn't guarantee that we're going to be able to get into that property. Discuss making an offer and when it's the right time to do so. I'm not submitting one offer for a client until they've had that conversation with the loan officer to make sure that they're okay with those numbers. Because the worst thing that can happen is you go through that process, you get an offer accepted, and then they're, oh, well, what's the breakdown of my numbers? And they're like, oh, no, now they want to back out of the deal. Get that guesswork out. Get it done up front. That way you get peace of mind. And they have peace of mind. And now they know if they want to move forward with this transaction or not. How the negotiation and contingency dates work, including home inspections. It's so important. I've seen so many agents miss those home inspection contingency dates because they think that the home inspection contingency date starts the day of the inspection. No, you're way behind. It starts as soon as that offer is accepted, and here's why we need to move on this. We need to get this inspection done. Now, another thing I do is I go over the do's and don'ts of the inspection. Listen, don't freak out when you get this inspection report. Especially if you walk through that property with the inspector and the inspector saying, listen, little cosmetics here, whatever, you're good. If an inspector sees something serious, they're going to tell you the day of that inspection. So when you get that inspection report, don't freak out. Don't freak out and say, you know what? Oh my God, I got a 35, 40-page inspection. Think of it as the owner's manual, right? When you buy a used car, there's an owner's manual in the glove box. That car has been owned by more than one owner. It's going to have wear and tear. There's going to be things that you need to repair. Same thing with the house. So look at that as your owner's manual, not as something to scare you away. If the inspector didn't tell you the day of the inspection that you need to walk away from this deal, you're good, right? And that's a conversation with the inspectors too. We want inspectors that are going to educate our clients, not scare them away. So that's building your, what I call a power team of people, your attorneys, your inspectors, everything. You want people that are going to educate your clients through that process. I'm not an inspector, I'm not an attorney, and I'm not a loan officer. So build that team of people that you trust and work with them and run with it. Transaction management, let them know if you're using a transaction coordinator. That's so important. If you're using a transaction coordinator, that you let the client know ahead of time, listen, you may get documents from someone other than myself. That's my transaction coordinator. Because then guess what? If they have no idea who this transaction coordinator is, now it's going to delay your process, because now you're getting an email from somebody like, I'm not signing that. I don't know who this person is. So be upfront. The closing process, including the final walkthrough. How many people here use a checklist for the final walkthrough? So important, especially if you've requested repairs. If you've requested repairs on a property, I would be hounding that listing agent weeks ahead of the closing. Hey, how are we making out with the repairs? Can you get those invoices to me as soon as you get them? Because I want to get those to the attorney, and I want to make notations so when I do the final walkthrough, if the repairs weren't done, now we can call the attorney and the attorneys can hash it out and maybe do an escrow holdback until it's taken care of. Because some people will say, no, we took care of it, and then they don't take care of it. You do a final walkthrough, and the best time to do the final walkthrough is the day of closing. Stop letting your clients tell you that, I can't make the walkthrough on the day of. I want to do it the night before. Because things can happen. And if something happens the morning of, and you did the walkthrough at night, the attorney's asking you, did the walkthrough go fine? Now all of a sudden they go in and they got 2 feet of water in the basement. Guess what? That's your problem. Because you did the walkthrough the night before. Always do the walkthrough the morning of closing. Important. And most importantly, set expectations. I set expectations with all my clients, all of them. I let them know, listen, if I don't answer my phone after 7 p.m., it doesn't mean that I'm ignoring your call. It means that I'm home with my family. This is my time to be home with my family. I promise you I'll get back to you the next day. But I also want you to understand that if I'm blocking time off in my calendar for you, that time is for you, so I need you to show up. Set expectations from the beginning. I'm a human being just like you are. I have a family just like you do. I don't sleep, eat, and drink real estate 24/7. There's a time that I have to take a step back and hit that reset button. So that's important, those expectations. And if you're not doing buyer consultations, you're doing your clients a disservice. Get those buyer consultations done. So sometimes you'll get a phone call and you don't know what to say. So I'm gonna make it so easy for you guys. This is what we call the LP Mama script. The L, location. Where do they want to live? Hey, where are you going? Well, we like this property in Broomfield. We saw it. We don't know if it's something that we're interested in, but we're okay. Are you open to looking at properties in other areas aside from Broomfield? Now you're gauging, right? You're gauging them. You're talking about the location. How much can they afford? Hey, have you had the actual chance to meet with a loan officer? Are you paying cash? Do you need to finance? Right? It's so important. Motivation. What's your timeline? When do you need to move by? Are you in a rush? Is time of the essence? Because now it lets you know how aggressive you have to be with this client on home search, on showing them properties. Do we go and look at properties, 6 or 7 properties in one day? Or do we have time to spread it out? Have they already signed a buyer agent agreement? This one is so important because we've had agents who don't disclose it, and the clients be like, I didn't sign anything, not realizing that they signed a buyer agent agreement to work with this agent. And it's not just for a day, they've signed for 6 months. They've approached you, but you can't, there's nothing that you can do unless they're willing to cancel that contract. So getting this out of the way from the beginning, you got to make sure you haven't signed anything. And I would say, who was the other agent you were talking? I would call that agent and find out.
We'll get a copy of the termination.
Yeah, absolutely. If they don't have that, then I wouldn't even bother because now you're setting yourself up. Again, mortgage, paying cash, or do they need a mortgage? Right? If they're paying cash, all you need is proof of funds. And proof of funds can be bank statement, it could be whatever, retirement account. As long as it shows that they have the funds to close, most attorneys will close on it. Now, if it's a mortgage, then again, we gotta. And one of the things that I see, even as a listing agent, right, we gotta stop. If we know that you sold this property to a client and that client bought that property FHA, why wouldn't you educate your client during that listing appointment? Listen, let's get the property ready so that we can open up the door for more offers to come in. We don't want to exclude those FHA buyers because sometimes clients don't use FHA because they have to. They do it because the interest rates are a little better for them, right? So, and don't get discouraged with condos either. There's so many lenders who will do a spot approval on condos. I just had one done in Waterbury. The HOA did not want to have it. They were like, nope, we don't want FHA. The listing agent, who was also the owner, he worked with me. We sat down with the association president. Boom, boom, boom. We made it happen. The loan officer came. They did what they had to do. They sent the paperwork, and it was done. But you can't discriminate. And then the appointment. So LP Mama, location, price, motivation, agent, mortgage, and the appointment. Close that appointment. Set that appointment. Put it in your calendar, and then send them a reminder via text or email or blow smoke signals, whatever it is, and just make sure you close it. Any questions? No questions? I have a question for you all. I want to know, and I'm going to go around the room, right? I'm going to go around the room, and I'm going to ask you a question. What are some of the topics or the things that you struggle with and you need help with? I'll start with you.
I guess the time blocking. Definitely.
Time blocking?
Yeah, that will help me a lot. Just got very new stuff probably being consistent with just making sure that I take this like it's a full-time job.
So you're new to real estate, right?
Right.
Okay. So what I would do with a new agent is I would work with you so that you can, I'll help you with offer writing. Walk you through that process of how to fill out a contract, right? I'll give you a couple test properties. I'll pick some random properties. I'm gonna, okay, we're gonna submit an offer. Highest and best are due on this day. Have at it.
Okay.
But before we do that, I'll walk you through each document, what the writers signify, and ways to strengthen the offer. There's ways to strengthen offers, and we'll set it up where you don't submit one offer to a co-broke until one of us have reviewed the offer to make sure that you check all the bells and whistles. Fair enough?
Prioritizing. I'm still trying to do real estate and IT work because that's my primary. So that's one of the hard things for me to do. It kind of goes with time blocking a little bit. But then I get monkey wrenches all over the place. So,
Yeah.
So that's it.
I would say the same, prioritizing and time management because I do have a full-time job and several other side hustles. So prioritizing real estate.
How about you?
I feel like it would be, I feel like I second guess myself a lot. I know that I know what I'm doing. I came from a team where we were militant.
Right.
Time blocking, if it's not time blocking, doesn't exist. But I think I'm really hard on myself with my CMAs. Second guessing myself, even though I'm very stat driven. I like to present the numbers. I feel like without the stats, right, you really don't have an argument. But even with the stats, I second guess myself, like whether I submitted a good offer. Sometimes, especially in this day and age, you get outbid and you know you did your best, but then you kind of second and third guess yourself. So whether it's submitting an offer or maybe even more so now listings. Did I list where I should have? Just those little things.
Yeah, so like we can do, I do it's a high accountability training. It's called Top Guns. And what we do is I challenge agents to go out there and have X amount of conversations a week. You got to go on at least 2 listing appointments and 4 buyer councils every week, right? And then we come back and we look at the numbers and we see where you're struggling. We look at stuff like that, and we look at CMAs. We look at pricing. Where are you pricing it? Do you know the 3 different categories of pricing? Stuff like that. So we get into detail with that stuff. So,
Sign me up.
Yeah, me too.
Staying consistent and letting everyone know that I'm a real estate agent. Now I'm doing this full time. So talking to more people.
the secret agents don't make money, right? We got it. We can't. We don't get paid until we close on transactions. So we got to be out there aggressively, letting people know what we do. The Secret Service makes money, but secret agents don't, right? How about you?
Oh, I think I'm more or less on the same boat as Nina as far as like comms and CMAs with clients. For example, I have a listing right now. How to convince this client that, first of all, in the beginning we did that listing with the number too high. Then I convinced him to drop the price, but still about the market price. And now it's like we got offers that he won't take because it's below what he really wants. Even though I explained that this is what the market price is. These other agents are working on their customer, their clients. But it's like getting outbid too, obviously, like with number buyers and, am I doing the right thing too, like Nina said, like putting the right number or getting the right listing. The numbers are very important. Also, like you said, the right price, with the right price, it will sell. But if you don't have the right price, obviously, now a property is in the market for months and it's not selling.
That's why it's so important to find out what the client is looking to net on that sale. And if you can have it ready for them on the Palm Agent 1, because Palm Agent 1 will give you a breakdown of, if you close this property at my recommended price, this is what you're going to net. If you get multiple offers and you get a higher offer, let's say 10,000, 20, 30,000 above, it'll break it down for them so that they can see where their net is. Takes away all the guesswork. So if I could, right, and that's the terminology. If, open-ended questions always. If I could net you the most amount of money in the least amount of time at my recommended price, would you let me list your property, right, at this price? Now, there's also a strategy called the 10-10 rule. We've been on the market for 10 days, but we've had 10 showings, no offers. Now we talk about price reduction. Right? So important. So important. How about you?
Well, I struggle with a lot of things.
That's okay.
A lot of things. But I think this area that, and my personal experience in the market that we help, are minority people, sometimes they come with a budget. They have, and we're the first point of contact. I feel that I struggle explaining the different types of loans that are there for them. So I think training is very important, because I think that when we meet with clients, especially with buyers, you gotta know what you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel that when we get our license, and I've been doing this for quite a little bit. When you get your license, whatever, there is no more training, there is no more knowledge. You have to learn on your own. I don't feel comfortable. I wanna be in places like here where I can hear from people that know. So then I can sit with people and show them and be more confident about myself. So I think I struggle with that. I feel that there is not enough training for agents about the different, levels or the different steps. You just have sometimes you're gonna have to bullshit people, and make them believe that you know what you're talking about.
Make it till you make it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to lending and all the products, simple solution. Hey, There's so many loan products out there, so many first-time home buyer programs, investment programs. Guess what? Your best bet would be, let's meet with a loan officer, with a mortgage professional, right? So that way they can match you with the program that's the best fit for you, right? Because in lending, one size doesn't fit all. So what worked for your brother or your sister may not work for you depending on the circumstances, because you got to take into consideration credit scores, debt to income ratios, right? So when put it off on the LOs,
Exactly.
right?
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Actually, right?
Yeah.
But again, they always come to you for the first kind of,
Yeah.
refreshing for, and,
Yeah.
and it's not all cookie cut, right? Like,
Yeah.
They all think that, oh no, but my brother did this. No, but again,
Yeah.
it's not the same. So I feel that that's where, in my personal experience, I need more knowledge of that area.
Yeah.
In this area too, everything is.
Changing and evolving. It's so different. It's so different out there, and so you got to make sure that you again keep educating yourself, right?
That's why I think it's so important to sit with the loan officer every so often, because that's not our area of expertise.
Absolutely.
And just like the real estate side changes so often, I feel like so does the loan originator portion. And to stay up to date with like the new changes. So
That
go to
was
a loan
kind of
officer that you feel comfortable in asking
Yeah,
specific
just-
questions to.
The loan officer part was just an example.
Yeah.
But I feel that we need these type of classes constantly, so you can keep
All
refreshing.
right, you're gonna be coming here often.
How about you?
I would say definitely time lagging. It's just I work too much, and it will be time lagging. So just a personal experience. 2 days ago, I take my kids to the compound. I have 3 phones, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave my phone since my daughter's birthday today. And I'm like, I'm gonna leave my phone in the car and not work. I promise you guys, I'm not gonna be working. I get out of the car, walk 2 steps, and I'm like, guys, I have to get my group back. I got my laptop, I got my 3 phones back. They're playing around the park, and I'm sitting working. Like, it's just, I can't help it. Sometimes it's 7, 8 p.m. My husband is like, hey, let's eat, and whatever. I'm not 10 p.m. I'm in my phone answering messages. It's just, I can't help it. It's very, very bad. My kids are talking to me, and they're like, are you listening to me, Mom? I'm like, yeah, sure. What did you say? It's very,
It happens.
it's extremely bad. Very, very bad.
Work-life balance is so important. So important. The way my wife got me out of it was like, these days of the week you're cooking dinner. So I said, and I have no choice. And like I said, when I walk in the house, my laptop goes in the cabinet, my iPad. I can keep my phone. I can keep my phone, but that's my time to be home. So I try to disconnect by 7 p.m. I'm not doing anything real estate related.
And you don't think about real estate? It's
I
just,
don't.
I'm like, I'm not gonna work anymore, and I'm talking to them, and I'm thinking about the messages that I have to answer. I'm talking about that I have to show properties tomorrow. I have to. It's just I can't. I don't know.
You know
what to
why
do.
I don't stress it? Because I've set the expectations from the beginning with the client, and they know that after 7 p.m., they don't expect for me to return their call until the next morning. Because I've met with them in person, I've set the expectations, and now they know. So I don't feel bad about it anymore. I used to, but I don't feel bad about it anymore because my schedule is so tight. I work off of my calendar faithfully because it allows me the time to do what I have to do for my business. It allows me the time to do what I need to do at home. And when my grandkids come over, that's it. All communication is cut. That's my time for my grandbabies. So and for me, it was, just one of those struggles with, I can't please everybody. I wanted to please everybody. I wanted to run around. And that's the difference between working with lookers and buyers, right? Lookers are gonna run you ragged. They're gonna want you to show them a gazillion properties. They'll never get a pre-approval, or they'll never submit an offer on one property. Buyers are come to you with a pre-approval in hand. They're ready, willing, and able to go out there and look at properties and put offers in on properties. Now, I heard a lot of people say, well, losing out, getting overbid on offers. One of the biggest things and one of the biggest takeaways that I would say is communicate with the listing agent, Abby, even before you submit the offer. Find out, what is the seller looking for? What type of contingencies they're looking for? Is there anything that you can do, right, to make the offer better, right? They don't have to tell you. Some sellers will encourage their listing agents, and you can tell them what the highest offer is, if they can beat it. But then you've got to put the expectations as well with your buyers. And listen, this property still has to appraise. Even with my sellers, I always tell them, I break down 3 different scenarios. I'll tell them, listen, if the buyer's not willing to bring in an appraisal guy, you can't list this high. You can't take this offer. This offer is too high. It will not appraise. I'm telling you right now, it won't appraise. If they're willing to do it, then you can take it as long as it's okay with the bank. The loan officer still has to be, if they know that they're bringing money out of pocket, they have to disclose that. Then the other thing is, I tell them, listen, we got to be realistic here. These are the top offers you have. I will go right with the middle one, because I already know that property is going to appraise at that price or higher. You got to play it safe. You got to tell them, listen, you're still going to net what you wanted to and then some. Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy, because it's going to hurt you in the end. I got one more young lady.
I would say definitely time blocking is a little bit an issue. I have a buyer that I'm working with right now, and after a few weeks of it being very chaos, I kind of was like, hey, these are the set days that I have for you. Looks like these are the days we have off too, but we know, so I kind of pushed mine into the days that work best for my schedule, because if not, you do run all over the place. Hey, I just got out of work early, I want to do this, and hey, it's my birthday, let's do this. And it's like, there's no control of what I do in my life. But another thing is also the challenge for expertise, like you mentioned before. Like, well, my grandfather and my dad said this, and I think that this offers too high. And I have shown, other properties, and she'd say, oh, well, maybe, what do she'd say? Well, I don't think it's worth that much. This is what they're selling. So I'm trying to give you the facts here to what the game that you're playing, where we have to be offering, well, that's too much for them. Okay, so just trying to kind of work with what they think is worth buying, even though, it's within what they're looking for, but just that, oh, I don't know if I want to do that.
Just show them the numbers.
Explaining the market, and I keep, trying to repeat these things, but,
Show them the numbers. Show them the numbers. Tell them, listen, in this market, in this zip code, properties are selling $18,000 above list price in this area on average, right? These are the last 3 or 4 closed properties. Look at where they were listed. Look at where they closed, right? When you do that, that's all the confirmation you need, because the numbers don't lie. And there's no way for us to inflate those numbers. So now you're coming across as the expert to that client. You show them the numbers, that client will never second guess you again. How about the gentleman in the back?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Repeat the question. It wasn't complete.
So, what are some of the things that you struggle with that you would want more resources or help with?
Nothing.
Frankie.
Frankie.
I'm fantastic.
No.
No, I would say some of the struggles for me is just honestly, once I have the client, I'm pretty good at getting offers accepted and everything like that. So I don't have those issues. There's so many ways how you can manipulate certain situations based on, obviously, you have to have good communication with the seller's agent and everything like that on that exactly what they're looking for and what they want. And there are so many ways to make an offer stronger, whether that be a higher deposit. You can that shows that you have enough skin in the game. You can also waive inspections and certain things like that, depending on obviously the property. Depending on also if you have a first-time buyer, but I don't try to influence them on waiving inspections, but you can also do an inspection for information purposes and things like that. So there are many ways on how you can manipulate offers nowadays.
How many people have submitted an offer on a property and have the buyer put in $500 towards the seller's closing?
I've never done that.
It's a good way to get an offer accepted, right? People think that an earnest money deposit is not important, but when they're looking at offers and that person brings in a strong earnest money deposit, guess what? It shows the strength of the buyer. It shows the seller that that buyer is ready, willing, and able to go on this property, right? So there's so many different ways. Some people will put in the MLS, no escalation clauses, please. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's the seller's decision, not the agent's. And they have to present. So, and I'm going to tell you another thing, that the difference between highest and best and all offers to be submitted by. Highest and best means just that. There's no negotiating. That's it. When you do all offers submitted by, it gives you leverage in the sense that now you can negotiate. You can say, you can go back to the buyer's agents and say, hey, I'm calling on your offer you submitted. I have 3 other offers that are similar in price and terms. Can your clients make any improvements or any adjustments to that offer? Right? And then now you put that leverage. Let me call you right back. Because now guess what? They're either going to increase the price, they're going to increase the earnest money deposit, or they're going to waive something. I never have buyers, I never encourage them to waive an inspection. Only time I've done it is maybe a condo that I know that the association covers most of the bulk of the stuff. And here's the reason why. You get an inspection, and I've worked with some of these old school agents that have been in real estate for 40 years and they still do things the old school way. And they'll tell their clients, well, if you waive the inspection, I'm going to gift you a home warranty on your property. But guess what? Without the inspection, the home warranty company won't underwrite that policy for you. So let the clients make the decision. You give them the options that they have. If they choose to make it, make sure you have them sign that waiver of inspection document. Have them sign it, but just reiterate to them, listen, it's not something that I'm recommending, but some people will tell you, some buyers will be like, yeah, I know how this works. I'm going to waive all my inspections. My brother's a contractor. My father's that's a different story, right? But guess what? Prepare yourself that they're going to want you to schedule a showing so that the contractor could go in there and take a look at it. And then if he says, guess what? Nah, this property needs way too much work, they're going to back. They're going to walk away. So peace of mind, always have them have an inspection, even if it's for informational purposes. You can still sell that. And the way you do that is you can tell, instead of putting 14 days, put 7 days or 5 days contingency, right? That'll get at least the offer looked at. So a recap, we talked about habits, we talked about time blocking, market trends, tools and resources, buyer consultations. Don't make your sphere of influence your sphere of influence. And I say that from the heart, because sometimes we don't follow up with people in our sphere of influence out of fear. The fear of rejection, the fear of them saying, no, I'm all set, the fear of saying, I'm working with someone else, right? You stay top of mind to your sphere of influence, thus the best lead source you can get is your SOI. And categorizing. SOI-A, SOI-B, SOI-C. The SOI-A, those are the people that are going to give you repeat business. They're going to give you referrals. They're going to refer the family and friends. The SOI-Bs, those are the people that may give you a referral every once in a while. And C, those are like the one and dones, but I wouldn't discount them. I wouldn't disqualify them. I would still stay top of mind and follow up with them. And sometimes you could do little simple things, send a text, hey, Just seeing how, checking up on you, see how you doing. How's the family? Oh, great. And then the conversation comes up. Look for ways to brand yourself and have conversation starters. I have a T-shirt that says "Made of sugar, spice, and real estate advice," and then it has a QR code with my business card on the sleeve. Right? But it's a conversation starter. It starts a conversation with people that you don't know. You could be in line at a coffee shop and they'd be like, "Oh, you do real estate? Oh, so what's the market like? What's going on?" You're always looking for ways to find a conversation with someone. Put a decal on the back of your laptop. Go sit at a Barnes and Nobles or Starbucks and I'm a real estate agent, right? Or something funky on there, right? I speak fluent real estate. Ask me anything. So you got to get creative. You got to get creative. You got to think outside the box, and you got to do things that nobody else is doing. Because I can guarantee you that a lot of these things that are available, a lot of people are not utilizing the resources. So what's next, right? I'm going to be working with Carol and Dario to come up with another date that we can meet and we can continue with these trainings, right? For support and training. It's going to be new agents. It's going to be seasoned agents. It's going to be for everybody, right? Date and time to be determined. This will be available to all agents. Learn how to utilize tool systems to help grow your business, right? Build that confidence, change your mindset, right? No more frustrated agents here. Why? Because your broker owners have taken the time to invest into you guys so that you guys can grow, so that your business can grow. You can not only build confidence, but build confidence to be able to go out there and have those conversations and do the things that you need to do. Now it's time to send all your excuses packing and let's get to work, right? Let's not develop a poor mindset. And this is my definition of poor. Passing over opportunities repeatedly. That's what poor stands for to me. Thank you so much. And that's my little thing, work hard and be kind. We all have to work hard, but we also have to be kind and treat people with respect and the gratitude that they deserve. That includes our co-brokes, that includes our clients, right? Everyone. We always have to work hard, but we have to be kind and be with grace. So, if nobody has questions, that's my time.
Thank you.
It was fun. Thank you.
I do have a question now.
Go ahead.
So what is the best, so you mentioned that you text your clients, do you do it from your calendar, do you use your CRM, what is your best
I do it right
strategy?
when I text, I do a video text, I do it right from my phone.
Alright.
So anybody that I've showed a property, I've done an open house, whether they have an agent or not, they go see this house on 153 Brook Circle, right? We saw this property and the agent was very resourceful and he was very informative. And they'll call you, they'll be like, "Hey, thank you," they'll respond, and I just track them. And then agents have also complimented me. They say, "Oh my God, I don't know how you do that. I'm so afraid of going on video."
Just pretty much say, thanks for coming, or
Thanks for showing up to the open house. I appreciate the feedback. If this property didn't check the bells and whistles or anything that you were looking for, please contact me. I'll be more than willing to help and find something that's a better fit for your living situation, right? And that's it. And just send it out to everybody.
And your text messages for the anniversaries too, like you keep them on your CRM?
Yeah,
or
I keep them, or I keep them in a calendar. I have my calendar. I use it faithfully. I use that, and I get an alert every time someone's house anniversary is coming up, and I send them a quick text. I'll be like, "Hey, yo, happy house anniversary, man! I can't believe it's been 3 years. I can't believe it's been 5 years." And they'd be like, "Oh man, I'm glad you contacted me. I'm ready to list." Right? That's how you stay top of mind to people, to your clients.
I bought the house that I live 23 years ago. Every year, my wife's birthday, my birthday, and the anniversary, I get a card.
Yep.
Oh, for 23 years. 23 years. My birthday, my wife's birthday, and the anniversary we got the house. For 23 years, I've been getting those cards every single year.
I invest a little bit during the holidays. I'll dress up as Santa, and I go to my clients and I'll drop a bottle of wine on the porch. And then I'll ring the doorbell. I'll look at the ring. I'll be like, hey, Merry Christmas. They're like, Santa, is that you?
So
Thank you.
I just want to, before you guys go, also, if you want to eat more or take a food, thank you for coming. I appreciate all coming and paying attention. And this is the beginning of series that we want to do. For us to be able to see what you guys need and what you're going to need more, is shoot us an email. Shoot us an email to us, to Carol, myself, and Hiram. Tell us what you need, because we can help you. We don't know, how. We don't know what you really need to, because what if work for him maybe doesn't work for you. What you need maybe is not what you need. But if we all find out what you guys need, so he could put it together for the next class and the next class and the next class. Also, don't be shy if you need to contact him, and he said at the beginning, you could give him a call, you could send him an email, send him a text. Don't call him after 7 o'clock.
No, listen.
He's not me. But
For my agents, I always respond.
tell us, no question is a silly question.
Nope.
Okay? Anything. It doesn't matter what level, whether you're experienced, you're not experienced. We want to work with you. We want you to grow. If you guys don't grow, we don't grow. We want to grow all together. We want to all help each other. And we want to do more of this. So we want to know what you need so he could prepare the whole curriculum for the next class.
Here's my contact information. If you guys email, cell phone, 860-817-0311.
You can't see that?
03?
11.
No, I lost my glass.
No judgment.
She says she only sees big numbers.
Exactly.
Well, guys, before you guys go, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate your time. Like already Daniel said and Hiram said, we're here to assist you, to help you grow. Share with us, the sooner the better, what is it that you need, so we can create
Start
the new
preparing the
class.
next class.
And then, nothing, we just wanted to see you all succeed. And I'm here for all of you, we're all here for all of you, and thank you.
Yeah, remember, we always here for you. And now we have one extra resource here that we can help you out anytime as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
And also, to take food too.
Thank you,
Thank you
Hiram.
so much. Thank you. Thanks for all the info. It was really great. Thank you.
I have to bill.